What if the very river of life that runs through your veins held secrets older than humanity itself? What if your blood type wasn't just a biological classification, but a cosmic map, a seal of your soul, revealing your deepest lineage and divine purpose? For ages, science has told us that blood carries oxygen and nutrients. But what if it carried so much more? What if every drop held the ancient wisdom of generations, hidden mysteries waiting to be unraveled, and the very key to your spiritual enlightenment? On this journey, we go beyond the visible, delving into the depths of knowledge that may challenge everything you think you know about yourself. Prepare to unravel the layers of an ancient enigma, where inner alchemy meets biology, and where your blood reveals itself as a unique vibrational receptor, attuned to cosmic energy. We're not talking about simple blood types, but primordial archetypes, forgotten narratives in forbidden texts, and connections that will transcend your understanding of time and space. Are you ready to decipher the message your own body sends you? Ready to discover the true origins of your essence and their impact on your life path, your relationships, and your search for meaning? If this glimpse of truth resonates with your soul, please like it, share your perspective in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. Together, we will uncover the veils of the unknown. For centuries, blood was seen only as a river of life. But the ancients, with their ancestral wisdom, knew it was an ocean of memories, a living repository of truths that modernity sought to bury. Each blood type, and especially the enigmatic Rh factor, carries echoes of forgotten times, keys too, unlocking hidden mysteries about our true origins. Consider the Rh factor, that small mark of positive or negative that, in medicine, determines compatibility. What if it were, in fact, a genetic hieroglyph? A reminder that not all humanity shares the same biological root? The forbidden texts of ancient Gnostic schools, and even legends of Atlantis, whisper of a distinct lineage, without the Rh factor, linking it to beings who, perhaps, were not of this plane. This absence, for some, is not a deficiency, but an indication of cosmic inheritance, a vibrational seal that resonates with a cosmic energy from another dimension. What does this mean for your inner alchemy? By understanding the resonance of your own blood, you begin to align with your original frequency, awakening latent memories and opening portals to unprecedented spiritual enlightenment. It is a path of return where blood becomes a mirror, reflecting not only your biological past, but also the spiritual purpose that brought you into this existence. Ancient civilizations, from the Egyptians to the Mesoamericans, revered blood not only as a vital essence, but also as a sacred conductor of divine force, a direct link to the unified field of consciousness. They understood that each drop was a microcosm, a receiver tuned to the waves of cosmic energy. Blood rituals, often misinterpreted, were attempts to tune this powerful internal antenna. The revelation of these hidden mysteries through your own blood constitution is an invitation to rewrite your personal history, to question the boundaries of evolution and human origin. What science calls incompatibility is perhaps nature asserting a singularity. We are only beginning to decipher the silent language that flows through our veins, a language that, once understood, can unlock the secrets of the universe and your place within it. Allow this truth to inspire you, to mobilize you to seek more, to feel the pulse of a knowledge that transcends matter, pointing to an even greater destiny. But the most intriguing pulse lies in the Rh factor, that minuscule distinction that science classifies as the mere presence or absence of a protein. What if the negative, the absent, were actually the original, the primordial? What if Rh negative blood were an echo, a reverberation of a lineage that predates humanity's own known history? A link to an almost forgotten ancestral wisdom? The hidden mysteries of blood genetics point to a broader narrative, where certain blood types can be considered pure antennas, less modified by the contamination and genetic mixing of eons of Earth's evolution. There are clues in Forbiddance texts in Sumerian and Egyptian legends, in cuneiform tablets and Mayan codices, which speak of those who came from the stars, those of blue blood, or those who do not mix. It's not a matter of hierarchy, but of frequency. Imagine that each drop of Rh negative blood vibrates at a slightly different frequency, resonating with a more powerful cosmic energy, a more direct channel to the original source of consciousness. This peculiarity may explain why Rh negative individuals often report feelings of not belonging, heightened intuitions, vivid dreams, and an unusual sensitivity to environments and energies. This would not be a flaw, but a characteristic. The inner alchemy of these individuals, upon becoming aware of this distinction, can be catalyzed in extraordinary ways, awakening latent gifts and opening portals to profound spiritual enlightenment. Conventional science only scratches the surface, whereas ancient wisdom already understood that blood is not just a carrier of oxygen, but a recorder of ancestral memories, a living book of the soul. The true incompatibility, perhaps, is not biological, but vibrational. The difficulty of certain lineages in resonating with the dominant frequency of the planet as we know it. So, what does this revelation mean for your quest? Does the blood in your veins whisper secrets of a past that transcends Earth? The answer perhaps lies in the veiled annals of ancient wisdom, in fragments of hidden mysteries kept under lock and key far from profane eyes. Think of the mysteries of Eleusis not simply as agricultural initiation rituals, but as profound allegories for the transformation of consciousness, for the rediscovery of the cosmic essence that resides at the core of being. Many of the initiates, it is whispered, possess this rare mark in their blood, granting them a unique resonance with cosmic energy, allowing them to access altered states of perception and glimpse realities beyond the veil. The inner alchemy of these individuals was not merely symbolic. It was a genuine biovibrational process, a transmutation of dense matter into light, where DNA, this tangle of helices, functioned as an antenna for higher frequencies. The Forbiddance texts of Nag Hammadi, or the fragments of Enoch, though replete with metaphors, point to a celestial lineage that inhabited Earth in time immemorial, bringing with it not only knowledge, but a distinct genetic makeup. Could spiritual enlightenment, then, be not merely a mental awakening, but an activation of codes dormant in the very blood? A rediscovery of a legacy that connects us not only to earthly ancestors, but to distant stars? This is not a secret to be feared, but an invitation to unlock our own inner divinity, to realize that we are, in fact, more than mere products of Darwinian evolution. We are heirs to ancient knowledge, bearers of a key to forgotten dimensions. What else can these bloody sighs reveal to us about the true purpose of our journey and the destiny of humanity? This reverence, my friends, is no accident. It echoes through the millennia, whispered in forgotten codices and carved in dusty temples. In ancient Egypt, blood was the very life force of Osiris, a symbol of eternal life and the fertility of the earth. Mummification rituals, focused on physical preservation, concealed a profound inner alchemy, aiming to purify the vital essence. For its journey to do it, preparing the divine spark in the blood for ascension and full spiritual enlightenment. Among the Celts, blood was the sacred link with the ancestors, an invisible river that united generations, guardian of ancestral wisdom, where the tribe's memory was inscribed. Bloodlines were more than genealogical records. They were star maps of spiritual gifts and responsibilities, receptacles of the cosmic energy that flowed through the earth and the cosmos, connecting the individual to the great tree of life. Hidden mysteries behind these traditions reveal that blood was not merely a biological fluid, but a conductor of vibrational information, a repository of consciousness, and a portal to dimensions beyond the tangible. Forbiddance texts, such as some Gnostic fragments discovered at Nag Hammadi that speak of the blood of Christ, not merely as a sacrifice, but as a symbol of the Gnostic lineage, or medieval alchemical manuscripts veiled in metaphors about the elixir of life or the blood of the dragon, did not speak of literal potions. They alluded to the transmutation of blood itself, raising its frequency, activating dormant codes that connect us to primordial knowledge. This activation, they argue, would awaken perceptions beyond the five senses, revealing the true web of existence. Is our blood, then, not merely a biological legacy, but a star map to our own divinity, a living parchment upon which the history of the cosmos is written, waiting for us to decipher its arcane calligraphy? If our blood is, indeed, this living parchment, then might the distinct handwriting inscribed on this vital fluid, which modern science has categorized as blood types A, B, AB, and O not merely be biological accidents, but rather genetic keys to deeper understandings. Ancient wisdom, present in the hidden mysteries of cultures that preceded us, suggested that blood was not uniform. Ancient civilizations, observing nature and human behavior, may have intuited that certain lineages possessed innate predispositions to specific abilities, a greater sensitivity to cosmic energy, or an intrinsic capacity for spiritual enlightenment. Consider the Celtic Druids or the Egyptian priests, who focused on the purity of their lineage. Weren't they seeking a particular vibrational resonance, a blood frequency that would facilitate access to higher planes of consciousness? There are forbidden texts alluding to blue blood lineages, not because of earthly royalty, but because of an etheric resonance, an ability to attune to celestial frequencies. Some fragments of Hermetic treatises, veiled under the symbolism of inner alchemy, describe the transmutation of blood as the apex of the work, where the adept's blood type, with its inherent qualities, would be the starting point for this great work. It wasn't about changing one's physical type, but about raising one's vibrational frequency. Consider type O, the universal donor. Could this be an echo of an original condition, a kind of primordial blood, more directly connected to undifferentiated cosmic energy, with a purer memory of Eden? Or could type AB, the universal receiver, be a synthesis, a crucible of energies, with a singular capacity to integrate diverse influences, perhaps? An avatar of a more unified consciousness, adaptable to the future? And could types A and B, with their ancient specificities and their resistances or predispositions to certain energies and foods, not be reflections of ancient adaptations, distinct evolutionary paths that shaped not only the body, but also the soul? The true inner alchemy of blood is not to chemically alter it, but to decipher the information contained in each corpuscle, in each red blood cell, activating the hidden mysteries of ancient wisdom encoded therein. This would be true spiritual enlightenment, not an external light, but the awakening of the light that resides in our own blood, a map that indicates the origin of our soul and the route to our cosmic destiny. Imagine then type O, the hunter-gatherer, archetype, the driving force behind human survival. More than a mere biological trait, O blood would be the primordial echo of a lineage dating back 40,000 years, a receptacle of the rawest cosmic energy. It carries the cellular memory of innate leadership, indomitable courage, and resilience, forged in the vast wilderness attributes that manifest as a vital drive, an almost instinctive survival energy dot in the hidden mysteries of ancient wisdom, in fragments of forbidden texts, from Tibetan scrolls to Egyptian hieroglyphics. The first blood is spoken of, not the oldest, but the one that retained the most direct connection to the primordial source of life. For the ancient masters, type O represents the guardian of the original frequencies, the link to a past where humanity lived in profound symbiosis with the cosmos. Inner alchemy for type O involves rekindling this ancestral flame. It awakens the inner warrior, not for literal war, but for the battle of consciousness, protecting the truth and leading one's own soul. Spiritual enlightenment lies in recognizing this primal force, purifying and elevating it, transforming survival energy into creation, aggression into assertiveness, and the hunting instinct into the pursuit of knowledge. Could blood type O be a key to unlocking the secrets of human adaptability, the ability to thrive in extreme environments, a genetic inheritance from a time when survival depended on a direct connection with the rhythms of nature and cosmic energy itself? This ancestral lineage, engraved in every drop, offers a path to reconnect with the true essence of humanity. But what does this imply for other blood types? And how do these matrices intertwine in the grand tapestry of spiritual evolution? If Type O resonates with the memory of hunting and primary subsistence, Type A appears as the herald of a new era, some 20 millennia ago, coinciding with the agricultural revolution. Its frequency vibrates with harmony, the search for balance, and an innate inclination toward spiritual perfection. Agriculture was not just a change in diet, but a profound reorientation of the human psyche. From nomads, we became rooted, cultivators not only of the land, but of ourselves. The ancient wisdom of cultures, such as the Egyptians, Sumerians, and the Indus Valley civilizations, outlined in Forbidden's texts that speak of harvest deities, lunar cycles, and celestial alignments for planting, reveals a profound understanding of this new connection with the land. Inner alchemy for Type A manifests itself in the transmutation of the chaos of wild nature into order, of the raw into the refined. It is the art of pacification, of sowing peace within and without, transforming the cosmic energy that pulsates in the earth and sky into fertility for the soul and the built environment. Spiritual enlightenment for this lineage unfolds in the Esh, recognition of interdependence, the patience of cultivation, and the discipline of care. It is the pursuit of symmetry, aesthetics, and the ritualization of everyday life, elevating existence to a level of art where every act, from sowing to harvesting, is a reflection of the divine. In the hidden mysteries of matriarchal cults and ancestral agricultural societies, we find echoes of this veneration for the cyclicality of life, for abundance, and for the creation of cohesive communities. But wouldn't this relentless pursuit of perfection and order, this domestication of the self and the environment, bring with it a new form of limitation? Was the price of harmony a certain distancing from the vital savagery of Type O, a taming of the most untamable drive? And how did this apparent dichotomy between the primal and the ordered shape the great human experiment, setting the stage for the next great vibration that would emerge in the tapestry of life? If Type A sought order and the domestication of self and environment, the next great vibration to emerge in the tapestry of life, Type B, burst forth as an indomitable force, pulsating with the energy of freedom and creativity, refusing limits, and whose dawn dates back some 15,000 years among nomadic peoples. This lineage did not cultivate the land, but walked with it, in an eternal movement that mirrored the very breath of the cosmos. The ancient wisdom of Type B was not engraved on stone or papyrus, but inscribed in the migration patterns of great herds, in the song of the wind that swept across the steppes and deserts, in the constellation that guided their nightly journeys. It was a visceral understanding of the interconnectedness of all, that breathes of impermanence as the only truth. The hidden mysteries of this lineage resided in the art of adaptability, in reading the subtle signs of wild nature, in the ability to find abundance in the scarce and beauty in the ephemeral. They understood that true home was not a fixed point, but the vastness between heaven and earth, a sacred space that unfolded with every step. Spiritual enlightenment for Type B was not achieved through accumulation or rootedness, but through detachment, through the likeness of being that moves with the flow of life. Their inner alchemy transmuted fear of the unknown into courage, vulnerability into resilience. They did not dominate nature, but became part of it, like a river that molds itself to its bed without losing its essence. There are records in forbidden texts, or rather, in oral narratives and scattered petroglyphs that established societies tried to erase or discredit, that describe rituals of disappearance and reappearance where the individual merged with the landscape, becoming invisible to mundane eyes, but fully visible to the eyes of the spirit. This is not a literal invisibility, but a vibrational fusion that directly attuned them to the cosmic energy that permeates every grain of sand, every leaf, every distant star. This borderless existence, this denial of any constraints, unleashed an unprecedented creative potential, expressed in the rock art that dances in the caves, in the melodies that echo from the mountains, in the stories that intertwine with the legends of the beasts. But what would be the limit of this freedom? Is the absence of constraints a form of solitude? And how did this incessant drive to go beyond, to explore the next horizon, shape the human soul, preparing it for a new and complex stage of its evolutionary journey? If the freedom of Type B led us to question the limits of expansion, then the human soul, in its relentless quest for balance and wholeness, set the stage for the emergence of something entirely new, a synthesis that defied duality itself. We now speak of Type AB. Consider its rarity, its appearance a mere 1,000 years ago, springing from mixed lineages as the fruit of a sacred union between heaven and earth, between what is fixed and what is fluid. This is not a simple sum, but a true inner alchemy on a collective scale, where the telluric strength of Type A and the ethereal lightness of Type B merge in an unprecedented energetic crucible. Ancient wisdom whispered of the coming of those who would be the bridge, the guardians of a unified knowledge. In ancient forbidden texts, not only scrolls or codices, but also Siberian rock inscriptions and shamanic tales from Patagonia, there are mentions of those of mixed blood who understand the whole, who could dwell in the mountain and fly with the wind. These are not literal concepts, but keys to the hidden mysteries of consciousness. For Type AB, spiritual enlightenment lies neither in the founding of a material empire, nor in the complete dissolution of the ego in the vast ether. It manifests itself in the ability to anchor the most potent and diffuse cosmic energy directly into the heart of matter, to weave the invisible with the tangible, to be at once the river and its bed. They are the embodiment of resolved paradox, the compass that points in all directions at once, yet nowhere beyond the here and now. Their strength comes from the profound understanding that apparent contradiction is, in fact, the purest form of coherence. There are narratives that describe how the emergence of this AB type coincided with peaks of technological and philosophical innovation that seemed to spring from nowhere, as if the very fabric of reality had been infused with a new frequency. What secrets did they unlock as they walked the fine line between being and non-being, between the known and the unnameable? But if the web of Abo blood types draws the cartography of the soul, the Rh factor, that small protein on the surface of red blood cells, whispers about the very origin of that soul. It is here that the veil of ancient wisdom lifts, revealing even deeper distinctions. Those who carry a positive Rh factor, the vast majority, are intrinsically rooted in Earth's evolution. They are children of the Earth, shaped by millennia of planetary adaptability. Their strength lies in their connection with the physical. In the resilience of matter. However, for the minority, the approximately 15% who lack this protein, those with Rh negative blood, the narrative becomes more enigmatic, almost an echo from time immemorial. The hidden mysteries that surround them are not mere legends, ancient forbidden texts, not those that burn in bonfires, but those inscribed in the cellular memory of forgotten lineages, suggest a link to a heritage that transcends purely earthly boundaries. There is talk of a heightened psychic sensitivity, an intuition bordering on precognition, as if the body were a finer receptor for the cosmic energy that permeates the universe. It's no wonder that many reports of clairvoyance, spontaneous healing, and unusual spiritual enlightenment are linked to individuals with this blood trait. Could this protein absence be a genetic marker for an innate inner alchemy, an ability to transform one's consciousness and interact with realities that remain hidden to others? Could they be the stellar navigators of ancient prophecies, those who, by not completely fixating on Earth's biology, keep a door ajar to other realms of existence? Modern research barely scratches the surface of these secrets, but the keys to understanding them may lie not in laboratories, but in the whispers of one's own lineage, in the resonance with what lies beyond the visible. If this resonance with the invisible is a particular trait, how then does it manifest itself in the complex web of human relationships? Ancient wisdom, so often neglected by Cartesian science, has always known that blood is more than a carrier of oxygen. It is a vibrational repository, a mirror of the soul and legacy. Think of blood compatibility not just as a medical issue, but as an energetic symphony. Those whose blood melodies harmonize, whose vibrational signatures align, tend to experience relationships that flow with an almost predetermined naturalness. It is as if their cosmic energy fields intertwine without friction, creating a flow of understanding and mutual support. Bonds are reinforced by this intrinsic resonance, generating a deep comfort, a feeling of coming home. On the other hand, when blood signatures diverge drastically, when the melody of one clashes with the dissonance of the other, relationships become a field of intense inner alchemy. These are the unions that challenge us, that draw us into the hidden mysteries of our own being, serving as relentless karmic lessons. The forbidden texts and esoteric traditions of bygone eras describe rituals of union and separation based on profound understandings of these energetic bonds, showing that choosing a partner was not seen as mere social convenience, but as an act of profound resonance or soul confrontation. The inexplicable irritation, the constant friction, the feeling of exhaustion in the presence of certain people, all of these can be an echo of this vibrational incompatibility, a call to transcend the barriers of the ego and seek spiritual enlightenment through friction. It's not about striving for perfection, but about recognizing that each encounter is an opportunity for growth. What science calls incompatibility could actually be a gateway to the deepest work of our own souls, forging the spirit on the anvil of human interactions. What if true connection is measured not by the absence of conflict, but by the ability to transcend its flames? If blood speaks of relationships, imagine what it whispers about your own journey. For the same ancient wisdom that deciphered the psychic compatibilities of human unions delved even deeper, revealing that blood type is not just a biological label, but a vibrational map for the self, a key to inner alchemy. It is in the hidden mysteries of this relationship between blood and soul that we find why certain spiritual practices resonate deeply with some, while for others they seem empty. Wouldn't it be paradoxical to seek spiritual enlightenment through generic rituals, if our own vibrational essence is unique? The forbidden texts, whispered in forgotten languages and engraved on timeless scrolls, describe rituals of purification and ascension that were meticulously calibrated to the different signatures of blood. They narrate how ancient priests and shamans, guardians of cosmic energy, observed that blood type influenced how an individual interacted with the subtle forces of the universe. For Type O, for example, who carries the primordial memory of hunter-gatherers, rituals involving movement, connection with the earth, and purification through fire were seen as direct portals to the spirit. Type A, with its innate inclination toward order and introspection, found its truth in contemplative practices, the stillness of monasteries, and the harmony of sacred gardening, where the cultivation of the soul mirrored the cultivation of the land. What if what we call a spiritual diet or ideal meditative practice weren't a universal formula, but a personal code inscribed in our own blood cells? The hidden mysteries of this ancient wisdom suggest that by ignoring these nuances, we are missing out on a powerful tool for self-knowledge and acceleration in our quest for spiritual enlightenment. Inner alchemy, in this context, is not just the transmutation of the ego, but the attunement of body and soul to cosmic energy through practices that truly resonate with our most intimate constitution, revealing an individualized path to transcendence that very few today even dare to imagine. For those of Type O, holders of the hunter's primary memory, ancient wisdom prescribed a path of spiritual enlightenment forged in ceaseless movement and a visceral connection with the life force. Not monastic stillness, but the rhythmic pulse of the earth beneath one's feet, the vibration of the body in tune with the wild heart of the cosmos. Warrior rituals, yes, of mastery over the self, of channeling pure cosmic energy. The dance of hunting and battle, observed in remote tribes and described in fragments of forbidden texts, was not mere exercise. It was meditation in motion, inner alchemy transmuting raw energy into clarity and indomitable resilience. Imagine Type O shamans wrapped in furs. For them, stones were not frivolous adornments, but sacred tools. Garnet, a deep blood red, represented vitality, grounding, and primal courage. Reverberating the essence of Type O hematite, metallic and dense, was the protective shield absorbing shadows, anchoring the soul in matter, while the spirit soared. And fire? Ah, fire! For Type O, it wasn't just heat. It was the great purifier, a catalyst for transformation. Intense fire rituals, where ecstatic dance led to exhaustion and catharsis, burned away impurities and forged an indestructible spirit. These hidden mysteries reveal physical strength was a reflection of spiritual strength, a manifestation of the innate capacity to overcome, to rise from the ashes. The flames, a portal, a mirror of divine fury, a language of power that Type O understood. Instinctively, they sought the dynamic peace of the controlled storm. The question, how much of this ancestral wisdom, so particularized and potent, have we lost by universalizing the path to inner alchemy and connection with cosmic energy? And what else might these forbidden texts have to reveal about the other? Blood signatures? What if the search for inner alchemy for Type A were a diametrically opposite path? Not the fury of the flame, but the whisper of the breeze. The stillness of the soul, the immersion in ancient wisdom that manifests itself not in a battle cry, but in the patience of the sprout. For them, inner alchemy unfolds in the serenity of silent meditation, where the self dissolves into the tapestry of the cosmos without the need for confrontation. The hidden mysteries reveal that the path to spiritual enlightenment lies through harmonization, through attentive listening to the rhythms of nature and one's own being. The forbidden texts, fragments of Tibetan scrolls, and forgotten Vedic manuscripts speak of communities that thrived under the aegis of peace. For Type As, stones were not weapons or shields, but keys to vibrational resonance. Rose quartz, a portal to unconditional love and emotional healing, dissolving defenses and allowing cosmic energy to flow smoothly. Amethyst, with its violet aura, the veil between worlds, intensified intuition, deepened meditation, and purified the mind of dense thoughts, opening channels to higher consciousness. Think of the monastic gardens, the bamboo temples, where every leaf was revered. The act of cultivating the land for Type As was not work, but a sacred ritual of communion. The sowing, the tending of the soil, the flowering of the plant smears of one's own growing soul. It was a form of active meditation, a slow and deliberate dance with life, where cosmic energy was absorbed through the roots of the plants and infused into the gardener. The goal was not to dominate, but to coexist, to nurture, and to find true strength in the vulnerability of what flourishes. How few understand that true strength resides not only in what rises with vigor, but also in what bends with grace and recovers in silence. Has modern society, with its relentless pursuit of externalization, blinded us to these inner pathways of power, hidden in the gentlest of expressions? Thus, true strength rarely resides in imposition, but in profound harmony with the subtle energies that surround us. It is in gentle surrender, in resonance with what is truly essential, that we flourish. But how can we, in our frenetic world, reclaim the wisdom of kindness and find our strength in the invisible flows of existence? Leave your comment. If this reflection touched your soul, share this video and subscribe for more journeys. To learn more, see the secrets of inner alchemy.